everyone, my name is Katja, I'm Cat Coloring, and a huge and warm welcome to my channel for both new and old subscribers. Today's video is my completed pages video for the autumn months, September, October and November. And after I had taken the photo that's on my thumbnail here for the video, I actually found quite a few other books that I had colored in, so we better get started here. We have books here from Johanna Basford. We have Ellie Mark's Winter Song. We have Magical Dragons. We have books by Maria Trolle. And then, of course, some of my books by Hanna Karlzon. So it's quite a few colorings we're going to be looking at. So pause the video, grab yourself a nice mug of tea or a cup of coffee, perhaps a glass of water, and let's get started with this completed pages video. So I think that we should start with my Johanna Basford books here, and we can begin with Worlds of Wonder. And you can see I have actually marked some pages in here. So first and foremost, I used World of Flowers for my September colorings in my little series 3 minutes of coloring, which I have now ended, but it's up on my channel as a playlist, and you can watch all of the episodes on this playlist. So for this month, I had chosen some pages here. And actually all of the colorings for this month is on this page. You can see here that up here we have this little bottle coloring here with the bottles. So this was from September, and I also colored the leaves down here to make it more like autumn. This mushroom house, and also this autumn house here, and of course also this one with the tent out in the night. I think it was called something about camping at night, or nighttime camping or something like that. So these 5 drawings, they were colored with my Artex pencils, and they actually work quite nicely here on this paper, and they are also very easy to blend here when you use them on the paper in this book. So I will just remove these. So I have also, and you may recognize at least this page, because this page was a color along on my channel. I called it Blue Flower World. And I used my Black Widow pencils for this one. And as soon as I saw this page, it's it has some sort of a mandala feeling about it here with the repetitive flower patterns here. I knew that I wanted to do something special about this and try a more limited color palette. So as I said, I used my Black Widow pencils, and I used my green and blue colors, except here for a bit more teal-like colors. And I actually think that it worked out quite nicely. I also used a white gel pen, my Signo White, to erase the black lines here with all of these small flowers. And then I used a blue Posca pen to erase the lines here with the larger flowers here. And I actually also used a green glitter gel pen. I hope you can see it here, that there is some glitter here with the butterflies and here in the middle. So this page was a real treat to color. I really like how it turned out. You can also see the background here. I really like it, and I posted it in one of the Johanna Basford groups on Facebook, and it was quite popular. Some of the very big names in coloring like this drawing, or this coloring of this drawing. So I'm really pleased with this one. And I think that perhaps I should do more limited color palettes in the future, actually, because it worked out quite nicely. So the other page here I call it Rainbow Gardens, and it's colored with my Arctex pencils. And you can see here that the minute I saw this one, I thought, well, we'll have to do something special about this page. So I chose the colors of the rainbow, and it depends on the angle when you see a rainbow, but actually sometimes when you do see a rainbow, there's also pink and not as much yellow and orange. So it's more like pink and red, and then it moves on to the green colors. Sometimes you can actually also see some more teal-like colors. And then of course we have the light and the dark blue and the violet colors here. So I think that all of these flower boxes, because I color the background brown, I asked on Instagram what sort of background I should do, or if there should be a background. And one of my followers there, a very nice lady, Johanna's crocheting craft, she suggested brown. It could be like the earth or wood from these flower boxes. So either it's flower gardens in the earth, or it's flower boxes surrounded by these wooden boxes. So I think it worked out quite nicely, and I really like the way this page turned out, because you can also see that I managed to keep the color palette in each of these flower squares here, with pink and red, the orange, green, yellow, blue, the dark blue, teal, and also the violet here. And then of course I used different sort of gel pens to sort of cover most of the black lines. If I didn't use a gel pen to cover the lines, then I hope you can see it here with the orange, I used a glitter gel pen to draw up the lines here of the flowers. I also did it here with the yellow, also to add some details, and with the green flowers and the teal flowers. So I really like this page. I think that it turned out quite nicely actually. So that was Worlds of Wonder. And then we have Small Victories, and I have 2 pages here. I have this one, which I did in September, and it was colored with my Prismacolors. And I also used Poscas, and that was because September was like a summer month in Denmark. It was warm and sunny with a clear blue sky, and as I said, it was warm. It was really like summer. So I didn't begin coloring autumn until the end of September, beginning of October, because well, I didn't feel like coloring autumn because it was so warm. So I colored this one as one of the last summer flower colorings, and also again with a more limited color palette. So this one with pink colors, we have the blue and green here, yellow, and of course the violet colors here. So I really like this one. I really think that this one turned out quite nicely. And then I had, of course, my September month's body color here. With this page, the Autumn Wreath. And, sorry. This was a body color with my great friends from the US, Kathleen and DeAnn. And we had a task here. We had to hide an object here in the wreath. And it should really be an object, not an extra leaf or an extra flower. So we had to hide an object, or a living thing, you know, like a bug or something. So I can't remember if it was my Faber-Castell pastel chalks or my Monguio soft pastels for the background, but it really turned out nice here. And I had done the background for this one ages ago, because I knew I wanted to color this page in autumn colors. And then I used my polychromas for the rest of them. And I did do it in a lot of yellow, orange, golden colors, a little bit of red here. So I think it's I really like this one. And I don't know if you actually can see what object I have hidden, but I will show you, because I posted it on Instagram and Facebook, and only one was actually able to find it, but she thought it was a ring, but it isn't. So if I bring it closer to the camera, you can see that something is hiding here between these two leaves. And you can see it here. And this is actually a mug, like a mug of tea, because, or a cup of tea could also be, because, you know, Johanna always says when she is live streaming on Facebook and Instagram, oh, grab yourself a mug of tea, and oh, I would like a mug of tea or something. So I thought that it would be very fitting to hide this cup here amongst these leaves, because she always talks about tea and, well, sometimes also cakes. And I didn't want to draw a cake. That was too... and also because this cup I could color in an orange color to better hide it here between the leaves. So I think this one was actually really successful. So that was my coloring for the autumn here in Small Victories. Oh, embarrassing. I almost forgot. Actually, the 3 minutes of coloring I showed you were from October, and they were colored with my Faber-Castell Polychromos. The ones from September here, they were colored with the Arctics, and it was this dahlia and this coneflower here from World of Flowers. And then it was from Worlds of Wonder. This page here with the ship in the bottle and the fishes down here, they were also from September. I mean, it's 3 minutes of coloring for 3 months, and that was 13 videos I did in that period. So excuse me, but it's not easy to remember everything. So to continue, I had actually forgotten again that I had colored one here in World of Flowers. I just have to find, here it is. This one I am particularly proud of. I had done quite a few double page spreads during these months, and just have to say this one I call Pink Fantasy. I had wondered for quite a long time what I would do with this double page spread. So I decided to use a very limited color palette with only a few pink colors. And then you say, oh, but here is red. It is actually, how did I do it? I actually used these. You can see I've also used some yellow colors. So I actually colored with some of the yellow colors on top of pink colors. And then these more red, orange, golden like colors appeared. So it is truly a very limited color palette, both with the leaves here. I used the color family with, you know, from the, I think it was the pale sage and, you know, sap greenite and Kelly green and all of that up to Prussian green, olive green and kelp green for the darkest ones. And then I used all of the pink colors I could get with a little thing. I think this was magenta actually. But a very limited color palette. And then I used, some places, I used my white Posca pen here to cover some of the lines in some of the flowers. I am really proud of these pages, and especially because Prismacolor actually reached out to me on Instagram with these pages, and they actually want to use them in their marketing sometime. So they think that this is great. So I have now established a cooperation with Prismacolor. That was really nice to know. So just this one double page spread here from World of Flowers, but a very successful one. And then we have Den Fortryllede Skov, the Enchanted Forest here, because now we begin with the autumn colorings. And this one, I did 2 pages in, and it's these pages here with the owl and the squirrel. And I did this in September, and I think that the owl was actually a practice tutorial, and it's up on my channel in my playlist practice tutorial, so you can watch it. And I used a Black Pit Artist brush for the background. And some people ask, well, how do you make your background so black? I use a black coloring pencil to color the entire thing first. and then I use the Pit Artist brush on top. If I had acrylic markers, I would also use the black coloring pencil first, because it just gives a nice layer of black before you use a marker or a brush pen or something. So it really gives this dark black background. And these pages were actually inspired somewhat by Johanna Basford, because she posted a video on Instagram where she colored with a gold marker and said, well, you can also, just color and cover the lines with a gold marker, and then you have colored something. And that made me think, well, how can you use gold markers to do other stuff here when you're coloring? And these pages in her earlier books, where she draws these animals with weird patterns, it's very difficult to, color them like fur, so it really looks like fur, because they're all of these patterns. And the black lines in her book is actually, well, you can see here from this one I haven't colored, it's really strong and saturated black lines, so it's not that easy to erase. So I began with the squirrel page here and practiced on this one. And all of these leaves here I just colored with my Prismacolor to add some, some color to it. And then I used two different gold markers. I used this one for the outlines. This is a more matte sort of gold marker. This was my Staedtler metallic marker gold. And then I used, for the brighter parts, details, on the plants here and some of the flowers down here. Hope you can see it. I used my Uni Posca gold pen, because it's way more bright, and I think it added something to do it with two different sort of gold pens here. So you have one for the outlines and the motif here, and the other one for details to make it brighter, so the details aren't lost here in this drawing. And I did the exact same thing with this owl. So colored the leaves in different autumn colors, because, well, it was autumn and I wanted it to have an autumn look. And the background black, and do the background first, and then outlines at the very end here with, and I colored a little bit at a time, and then I used, because it's when you color it with the black and also with the black coloring pencil and then the marker or the brush pen, it's quite difficult to see where the lines are. So I did it a little at a time to remember what the lines were like. And here with the feathers, I kind of forgot a little bit here. So it's not perhaps the most easy method, but I do think it works. And I think that these pages actually came out quite nicely. I don't really do a lot of black backgrounds because, I really like colors. But when I do, I go all in. And I think that this worked out really, really nicely. So I'm very satisfied with these two pages here from the Enchanted Forest. Okay, so magical worlds here. My 3 minutes of coloring is from this book. And of course, I had to make it a bit more difficult for myself because I chose 4 different pages for the 4 different colorings here. So the first one is this one with the little pumpkin house here. And I used my Staedtler Design Journey pencils for the entire month, because I quickly found out when I began doing my 3 minutes of coloring that it was easier to use one coloring pencil brand a month. And then I would just do that, and then I would use 1 or 2 books. I mean, there are a lot of beautiful drawings on this side, so I could also have chosen some of these, but I wanted it to be different from time to time. So this one from the beginning of November was very close to Halloween, and that's why I chose this pumpkin house with the light shining down on it. I think that this Staedtler Design Journey works well, okay, in this book, but they probably won't be my first choice on the paper because it's actually quite smooth. I had a talk with my coloring buddies from America, DeAnn and Kathleen, and I will show you our body color in this book in just a minute. And we agreed that the paper here is very different from other of Johanna Basford's books. We can't layer as much as we used to. The paper behaves in a different way. When I tried to do the body color, I was surprised at how quickly the tooth of the paper was saturated with color. So when I thought I could go over with my Prismacolors a third time, I couldn't. It was done. So I had to change the way I colored with the Prismacolors after that experience. But this one was the first one. Then, of course, I had this one with the butterfly. I love coloring butterflies, and I just have to say, I think that this one turned out quite nicely. But you can see in small areas, the Staedtler Design Journey works great. But if you want to color a larger area, it gets a bit streaky on this paper. I added a little silver glitter gel pen here for the stars. And then I did this one, the fish here. I really like coloring these little colorings here, drawings here with fishes. And you can see here, I tried to do a graduation here between the darker and the lighter water, and it didn't work out quite well because it was difficult to blend the Staedtler Design Journey on in larger areas on this paper. But I think the fish turned out quite well. And then I added just a little bit of silver glitter here on the stones, a little bit of pink here on this shell, and a little bit of gold here on the fish. So I think it turned out nicely anyway. And then the last one was from last Wednesday, and it's this flower here. And it actually didn't turn out quite the way I wanted it, but it was okay. Again, the Staedtler Design Journey, they're not that good at blending on this paper, but they do give a lot of color. So I added some glitter gel pen to, to add something to it, because I wasn't satisfied with how the flower was after this one. So that was my 3 minutes of coloring for the month of November. And then we have my first color along here from this book. It's this Flower Island. I use my Mongoyo pastels and then my Faber-Castell polychromos for this one. And I think it turned out quite nicely. I tried to use the same colors for the background I had used. It was some purple and pink colors, and then some green and phthalo green actually, and some blue colors up here with the flowers and the house and the butterflies. So it's the same colors that we see all around, and then just a little bit of yellow up here with the lamp. I know a lot of people would probably, because there is a lamp in this light here, would choose a dark and black background or make some clouds and so on. But I think that this one turned out nicely, and I think it looks like this flower island here is floating in the air, surrounded by the butterflies. So this one was my body color for November, with my American friends DeAnn and Kathleen. I know I haven't shown you October, but I will in just a minute. And the task here, because we always give each other tasks, was that we had to incorporate the colors of our birthstones in the drawing. So I'm born in January, so my birthday is actually coming up quite soon after Christmas. And my birthstone is garnet, and it's a sort of a jewel with a darker red colors. And Kathleen, her birthstone is citrine, and it's more yellow-orange-like colors, and DeAnn's is opal. And opal is sort of whitish, but if you really look at it in different angles, all sorts of colors appear in opal. So I tried to incorporate the colors in the shell of this turtle. And this is actually the page that went completely wrong. I mean, really, really wrong. The only other page I have had that went really wrong was the page I showed you the last time from one of Hanna Karlzon books, where I had used some markers and it bled completely through and ruined the page behind it. So the page behind this is actually not ruined, but this page was. I first tried to do the background with the colors red and orange and yellow, and then it should turn into, more light or white, to use them as a background. But it looked absolutely horrible because this paper, as I said, is very smooth, and I had thought that I could just keep on layering my Prismacolors. I couldn't. After some places when I had to do the third layer, I couldn't layer anymore because it was saturated, this page. So I had to change strategy. So I used my Sharpie black acrylic paint marker. And I had to cover the entire background, and it took 4 layers of this black acrylic paint marker to make it this black, as you can see. And if I try to do, I won't do it, but if I try to do something, a little sticker here, then it removes the paint. So I won't. And you can see some of the yellow actually up here, left over from when I colored it. And I had to be really rough on the book to try to bend it here so I could. And you can see I've actually managed to get some black paint marker on this page, but at the side, not on the motif. So I changed strategy and colored the turtle green. Actually, garnet apparently also comes in a lot of different colors, so green is also a go. And then the bottom of the shell I colored with my garnet colors, the darker red colors. The middle here with the citrine, more yellowish. I actually use goldenrod and ochre and a little bit of yellow to enhance the yellow colors here. And up here I used a lot of different pale pastel-like colors and covered it with white. And then I covered the entire outlines here with white gel pen up here. And then I used the same colors here with the castles. So my red color for the roofs, and the yellow for the windows, or yellow-orange for the windows and the door, and these opal-like, pastel-like colors up here for the rest of the castle. Castle, I think it's a castle, and then covered it with white. And then I used my acrylic ink, and I used my pearl red, hope you can see it here, on the roof, and I used my pearl white here on the castle to give it a more mother-of-pearl-like shine. And then I used, of course, again, the acrylic ink, red and yellow and white for stars on the background. And then I used the deep gold to make our star signs. So this one is Scorpio, or the star constellations. This one is Scorpio because both DeAnn and Kathleen, they are Scorpions. And I am Capricorn, and this one is Capricorn. So I used a glitter gel pen to, combine these stars to make the star constellations, and the deep gold acrylic ink to make the stars themselves. So the page that went horribly wrong and was really, really hideous turned out okay, I think. But it wasn't my brightest idea with that background. Try to do a bouquet background with red and orange. It's absolutely hideous. Really, really hideous. And then finally, this double page spread I did, and I'm really pleased with this one. I actually had my viewers on YouTube vote for which of these pages I should do as a color along, and the massive majority went for this page. And I didn't have a lot of time coloring. I have said it in some of my videos. I have started a new job in October, and I've had a lot of going on my new job. So I haven't had as much time to color as I really wanted to. But this one I postponed forever because I didn't know how to color it. I think that these 2 pages deserved more than just, my usual coloring with, we have some blue water and some golden fishes and some green plants and so on. So I thought that I would choose a more limited color palette, and I did for the frame. So first I colored the frame, and I decided that I wanted to go with the teal, greenish, turquoise colors with some blue for the water. And it turned out quite nicely. And then I wanted the middle of it, what's in the frame, if you can say that, this tower here and all of these plants to be a completely different color palette. So I chose purple and violet colors, and I actually think it worked out really, really nicely. And then I did the frame here with my silver glitter gel pen from Pencil Sparkle Pop. They are so good. A little bit of Posca to the outlines here, a little bit of highlights. I use cream for the pale light inside of these light bulbs or lamps here. And then I thought, what am I going to do with this? Because this really is a double page spread. So I decided to turn the color palette around to use all of the green, teal, turquoise, bluish colors inside the frame and all of the purple and violet colors on the outside of the frame. And then use gold here for the frame itself here. And then I used a more yellow color here for these lamps, like deco yellow and canary yellow for the flames here. So I really think that this turned out great, and I am so proud of these pages, because I am, you know, if you followed me for quite a while, you know that those limited color palettes, I think that sometimes they stop me from being creative, but I am beginning to lean into it and realize that you can actually also be very creative with more limited color palettes. Although I still do like using a lot of colors. But I really think that these two pages worked out so very good. And I will just show you one last page. I haven't colored it, but this will be my body color with DeAnn and Kathleen for December. And our job is to get some polka dot patterns in. And I have a very good idea about how I want to do this. So you will have to wait until my completed pages video for December. If you saw my video on channel changes, you will know that I will begin making completed pages video every month now, because a lot of my subscribers actually want that. So that was all my Johanna Basford coloring for the autumn months. Okay, so I have not forgot the October body color with DeAnn and Kathleen. This was it's called Pumpkin Thief, and it's a free page from R.J. Hampson. I don't have any of his books. I'm not quite sure that I would buy them. I'm not quite sure that it's really my style, but DeAnn found this page here for us, and it's very fitting for October, you know, with all of these pumpkins and then the dragon here. And I really like dragons, and I have been meaning to color more dragons. So this one was, as I said, our October body color, and I use my Faber-Castell Polychromos and also my Sakura Jelly Rolls, the moonlight ones, because they are the fluorescent ones. That was a difficult word. I could also just have said neon colors here. It's an easier word to say. And a little bit of white Posca pen. So this one here is a dragon. You can see he lies here on top of all of these pumpkins, and he has actually, looks like he's stolen them and he's guarding them. Then we have this wreath here with the leaves I tried to do in autumn colors, but we also do have some butterflies up here. So it's not completely autumn here. Well, I tried to do it very autumn-like with the pumpkins, but I thought that, oh my gosh, color them all orange would be a bit boring. So I tried to color some of them more green and patterned ones here, especially this one is green with, or orange with a green pattern on, because pumpkin comes in various sizes and forms and shapes and colors. So I wanted to do different colors with these. I then use green colors for the dragons. I don't know why, but a lot of times in my mind I think of dragons as green or red, not blue. I know from Aragon, his dragon, she was blue, Saphira. But, you know, it's mostly green colors. And then I thought when I had colored it that it needed something. And that's when I took out all of my Sakura Jelly Rolls, the neon ones, the moonlight ones, to try to cover most of the black lines. So what you can see here, which is dark, is actually the shadows I have added. So all of the black lines are covered with a darker green up here, and a yellow one, and a lighter green here around its body. And I think actually that worked out really nicely with the dragon here. And then I did with this little hedgehog down here, I use both an ivory pit brush pen, and then on top my white Posca pen to make, you know, these things that stick out of these hedgehogs. So I think this turned out nicely. But more dragons are to come, because I showed you a flip through in the autumn here of this coloring book called Magical Dragons. And I've managed to color 2 drawings here. And this is a grayscale coloring book. And it's made by a German artist called Elena T. And I bought it on Amazon, actually. And one of my subscribers, and we also hang out a lot on Instagram. His name is Jamie from Jamie's Life, or Jamie 101. And so go check out his channel. I will make a link down in my description box. He's such a nice guy. And he also liked it so much that he bought it, and then we did a body color in this one. So, first of all, this one was a test page, as I have written, because we talked about what coloring pencils might do in this book on this paper, because, you know, it's Amazon paper. Not everything is okay on this paper. So I tested my Prismacolors and my Castle Art soft touch pencils and my Polychromos pencils. So the chest was done with my Prismacolors here, this one, and they worked out okay. The wings was Castle Art, and that was really difficult. I had to press, as you can see here, very hard to get the color down. And the ear and the spine down here, I colored with my Polychromos. And I chose, in spite of everything, to color the rest of the dragon with my Polychromos, because it turned out that they were the easiest ones, I think, to do. The Prismacolors were too soft for this paper, and I think that the Polychromos just worked better, because they do have a harder core than the Prismacolors, but I didn't have to press quite as hard as with the Castle Art. I know it says soft touch, but they are actually quite hard. So I really like how this dragon turned out. So I used a white Posca, you know, to enhance the scales of the body, and to do highlights here on the tail and the claws, and also here up with the horns. Oh no, it's an ear and a horn, I think, and with the eyes. I made the eyes a bit purple to get another color in. So I think that this one turned out quite nicely. This one was my body color with Jamie. And you can see his on Instagram, because he posted both our drawings on Instagram. And this I did with my Artex pencils, and they actually worked out really nicely on this paper. So Artex is really good on this Amazon paper, I have to say. And this dragon I turned red into a red dragon, because, you know, I really think that dragons should be red or green. But I think that if I have to color any more dragon colorings in this book, I would have to use some other colors, because red and green might be boring when you have colored 50 dragons, red and green. So I really, really like this one. I like the way that it turned out. I used the white Posca again to enhance some of the scales on the body and in his or her head, here on the horns and ears and on the wings here. And I played a lot with darker colors to make the shadows here, both with the tail and the body. I posted this as a little short video on YouTube, and you can go and check it out if you want to. So I turned the eye more golden, sorry, to get some color in, and then just, you know, a normal trees background with a little rock it sits on, and then the grass and the bushes. Yeah, I like this one. I will definitely color some more dragons in the future, both in this book, and I have another one called Dragons and Dragon Eggs. There's also a flip through of that up on my channel, and I bought it in the spring, and that is absolutely gorgeous. So I will really have to color more dragons, because it is so fun to color dragons. So thank you so much, Jamie, for this body color. I hope we can do another one. Okay, time for my Maria Trolle books. And I have actually managed to color quite a few, I think, in these books. Flora, only one. So this one may look very familiar, because this one was a color along. on my channel here recently. It's called Autumn Fly Amanitas, named after these mushrooms here. Very beautiful mushrooms, but also poisonous. So I did a bouquet background. I haven't done the one in ages. I mean, really ages. So I thought that a bouquet background would be a very good idea for this page. And it actually turned out quite nicely. And then, of course, some autumn colors here for these fern leaves here. Beautiful mushrooms and a little bit of stickles actually here on the wings of this. I think it's a mosquito actually. I use my Prismacolors for this one because Prismacolors just work absolutely fabulous on the paper in Maria Trolle's books. So they are actually my favorite coloring pencil brand to use in these books. I actually don't think I have used anything else. Well, except for my Eversar, which are also soft in her books, because they are so really, really good. And then, of course, I use the white Posca to enhance the dots here on these mushrooms. So, really nice page to have done in this book. I have mostly worked in her first book, Twilight Garden. Oh, I have actually a whip here. I had completely forgotten to finish this one. I just got bored one day and needed something to color, and then I began on this one, but I can see I haven't finished it. Also with Prismacolors I can see here, and some stickles here on the bee and these ladybugs here, but I haven't finished it. I completely forgotten it. Well, I will have to put it aside and finish it. So I was about to say I haven't colored anything else in this book, but I actually did. There are some very nice drawings in this one. So I will have to explore this more later. Then here in Botanicum, I had some pages up for a vote about which pages I should color. And this one didn't get as many votes, but I decided to color it anyway. Also, again, done with my Prismacolors. And this is a more darker autumn-like palette with mountains here and all of these pine trees here, and then we have the birch trees in the front with this cabin out in the Swedish woods. A little fisherman or fisher lady here, and the bird on top of the roof, which is covered with grass and white flowers. So this one was just a fun little, I don't know what to do, and then I will just color this one. I like it. A nice little relaxing coloring. And then Twilight Garden, which I have actually colored quite a lot in, actually. I think we will start with this double page. I have done some double page spreads in this book, quite a few actually. So this one I did in September when it was still warm and sunny. And this one was done with my Prismacolors, big surprise there. And also I tried to use my Moby acrylic markers, the white and the green for the flowers here. I have to say the Moby acrylic markers are very difficult to get to work. Posca pens are much easier to activate, but once you really get them to work, they work quite nicely. So I used them particularly for these flowers to cover the black lines. And this is a, this is one of those pages where you think, oh, what am I going to do with this? Well, you just get going, choose a color palette, and you can see it's more like a wallpaper motif like, because it's repeating pattern. So you just begin and keep on going, and it's actually quite relaxing to do, something like this, I have to say. So I really think that this page turned out quite well. I like it. And then in September, why do I have I have this page marked, but I never colored it. I didn't have time. So instead I went with this double page spread, yet another one, again with Prismacolors. Huge surprise there. And I used Derwent Inktense actually for the background. And this is actually a beginner tutorial on my channel. And this is, where we still have summer, but it's also almost autumn. So I decided to use autumn colors for this one, even though it was September and summer here, except for this one. But you know, dahlias come in many colors, and I think it was really nice to play with the color palette here and to do the depth of these sort of curly leaves that you or petals that you find in dahlias here, both with the red one here and with this one. But I really like this page. I think it turned out nicely. You can see little signs on the leaves that, well, autumn is coming, but it's not quite here, so we can still enjoy summer, although the acorns are actually quite ready here to be eaten by squirrels or whatnot. And then actually this page was completed in September when I bought my Everstar coloring pencils. So this one is just a test page for all of these coloring pencil brands I have tested for my reviews. I have the Holbein pastels here, my Castle Art pastel tints, the Castle Art metallics, Black Widow, dragons, the Charisma colors, the Art Tex, and then of course the Black Widow, also dragon here, and then the Everstar pencils here. So I will have to find a new test page for future reviews. Some are on their way. There will also be, I think, a Black Friday art haul video coming up soon. I just have to, you know, get the things I have bought. I'm still waiting for Amazon to that I can get them from Amazon. So the last one, this is very an autumn-like page. This is colored with my Everstar coloring pencils I bought in September, and I must say I am so happy with these pencils, and they work actually also so nicely on this paper. So this is the double page spread hedgehog, also voted for by my viewers on YouTube, and an overwhelming majority wanted to see this double page spread, because how do you do it? And well, it's up here on my channel as a color along. I also used some Posca pens for the flowers here and there, and but mostly here for the hedgehog, you know, to make them really look like hedgehogs. And really a nice autumn color palette with both dark and golden colors. So this one I'm also quite pleased with. I think it turned out really nicely, and I was surprised at how easy it was with the Everstar pencils. You hardly have to layer it because they cover the paper so nicely. Well, that was my Maria Trolle colorings. Clip! Okay, time for my Hanna Karlzon books. I had actually marked quite a few pages from Tales from the Forest Kingdom and Tales from the Witch's Cottage, you know, since it's being autumn and, you know, October month with Halloween. And I really like those books, and especially Tales from the Forest Kingdom is one of my favorite books, actually, of Hanna Karlzon's. But I didn't have the time because of my new job. You know, time flew away, and I had a lot going on. Professionally as a teacher in October and also in November, so I never got to color in Tales from the Forest Kingdom. I managed to do a little bit here in Tales from the Witch's Cottage, but you can see here from the pink and green notes here that I actually didn't finish all the things that I wanted. So the first one you might recognize if you saw my autumn art haul. My autumn art haul video, I had purchased some oil pastels, and a how to color with oil pastels in coloring books is really coming up very soon, because now I have finally bought something that will help me keep this from preventing these oil pastels from smudging in the coloring books. So this page, I tried to use the Manguyu oil pastels that I had bought. And I used the satin liquid glazing because I had seen other colorists on YouTube praising this product. But if you can see here, it leaves such a matte, streaky surface on the page that I actually gave up on the page and thought, well, this is perhaps the page I will never finish. It's also a bit of a rough page, and if I take my fingers here, it actually still smudges off with the pastels. So I am not quite satisfied with the satin glazing liquid. I might use it on coloring pages before I use watercolors. I have heard that that should be actually a very good way to do it. But I have purchased something else that I will show you in my how to color with oil pastels video. That should be better at preserving these oil pastel pages. Well, anyway, I finished it off with using my vintage Prismacolors, you know, the old ones from Beryl and the old ones also produced in the United States. I have quite a few of those. And I used a lot of Posca and glitter gel pens to try to sort out this background. I also added some coloring pencils on top, you know, to enhance the colors. I'm not satisfied with this page. It could have been done in a greater way, but most of all because I think that this satin liquid glazing here really ruined the page with all of these white streaks and the weird surface. So not satisfied with this one, I have to say. Then I did this one. I had bought my Holbein neon colors or luminous pencils, and I used my Sakura Jelly Rolls, the moonlight ones, the neon ones, and then I used a Pit Artist black brush for the black parts. So this one, I thought, what am I going to do with this one? And I have seen some very nice colorings of this one, but I thought I want to try my neon colors, and why not on a page like this? So I used the Sakura gel pens for all of the black outlines here. And then I used these Holbein neon colors, yellow and rose and red and orange and green, and I think it was a purple, to try to cover all of these ghosts or spirits or whatever they are. And then, of course, the black brush for both the background and also for the eyes and mouths of these spirits or ghosts. And then, of course, some silver and gold glitter gel pen, I think, or just gel pen for the stars and whatnot here on this page. So it's done. I'm not really that satisfied with it, but it was actually fun to see these neon colors, how they worked. And the Holbeins actually worked quite nicely on this paper. So if I had the other Holbeins, I don't, and I don't think that I will purchase them because they are so expensive. But I do think that they would work very nicely on this paper. This is actually one of the pages I would have loved to have done. I've seen so many beautiful colorings of this page, but I didn't have the time. So that will have to wait until next Halloween. I did, however, do this one. So this one is a color along on my channel, and it's called The Witch's Cauldron. And I had to, you know, look at all of these gorgeous pages. And there's also another page. I thought about this one, but I went to Pinterest and there were like a million different colorings of this one. And that actually killed my inspiration, and I thought, well, I can't do it now because I've seen too many ways of coloring this one. So I didn't find a lot of colorings of this page, so I thought that I would experiment. I used my Caran d'Ache Luminance for this page because the Caran d'Ache Luminance also works so nicely on this paper. This witch's portrait I did last year with my Caran d'Ache Luminance, and they really are so good to use on this paper, and you can just keep on layering and blending them, and it's just a joy to work with them in this book. So I tried to really make it look like, you know, the light comes from below this cauldron, and it's, ew, I don't know what it is, brew up here on her face, you know, with working a lot with light and shadows, also with her hair. And of course her hands and the dress. So some of it is in shadow and some of it is lit up by this. I used also these Sakura Moonlight Jelly Pens here, the neon lights, to cover the black lines of these fumes coming up from the brew, and also these bubbles coming up from the brew. I really like how this one turned out. I think that I managed to create a very nice background with the darker blue and then the black and then some light surrounding her. So try to make it like a glowing sort of blue light here, the stars and the candles down here, and also this cauldron. This is actually a drawing I'm very proud of. I really think that I succeeded in making it look like the light comes from below and up on her face, and this, I don't know, crown or whatever it is she's wearing. So this is truly a October Halloween witch. And that was it from this book. Then I worked in seasons, and I started out with a quick color along done with my Everstar pencils. Of course, the background is my pastels, soft pastels from Monguyo. Or was it Faber-Castell? I can't remember. Either way, soft pastels for the background. And then I used my Everstar for this one. And I really, really like this one. I think it turned out so nicely with autumn colors, a lot of orange and golden colors. And then we have some pink colors also, both with the leaves here and the flowers. So this one was a joy to make. This one, however, oh my gosh, this took forever to make. I think I spent half of October month doing this, and I have used so many different mediums. You can see the pages crinkling a bit. I used my Derwent Inktense for most of this page, actually, for the mushroom here and the entire background, and actually I think most of it, also the frogs here and the mushrooms. So Derwent Inktense mostly, but then I also use my polychromas to color on top, especially these red. These were colored with my polychromas. I added details with my polychromas. I used my Arteza metallic watercolors for the crystals here. Hope you can see the shine. And also for the snail up here. You can see I've used my polychromas for the berries and the diamond here. And I used a lot of different Poscas, glitter, purple glitter Posca here for this mushroom. Gold Posca for the mushrooms here, and also for the flowers here, and glitter gel pens for the rings and the crowns that they're wearing, and also Moby gel pens for some of the leaves up here. So it was really a very long double page spread, this one. I think that the result is it turned out nicely, but it was really, really hard work to do this one. So, I don't know if I will use that many mediums on a page again, but let's see. And this one, you can see I have actually marked quite a few pages in this one, and I had to, but I didn't have time to color them all. This one, you might recognize the background from an autumn art haul. I used my iridescent acrylic paint from A-Buyer to test it out for my autumn art haul, to show you how it worked. And again, look at the page beneath, hardly wrinkled. You can still color it and nothing has bled through. And when you have colored, or not colored, when you have shut the book for quite a while, no wrinkles here. The page is actually quite smooth. I did a lot of paint here with this sort of, tried to do a bouquet background with paint. And then this one I colored with my Prismacolors in here. And I used a lot of different Posca and gold markers for the rest of it. And of course, white Posca here for the reflections in the glass. But all in all, a very nice autumn painting. But I actually did the background in October, in the beginning of October, for my autumn art haul. And it was only the other day, I think it was 4 or 5 days ago here in the end of November, that I finished the rest of it, because I had actually forgotten that I had to finish this one. So that was my seasons coloring, and then Magical Dawn. And you know, this is my Instagram book I use for my Colorions Ensemble Magical Dawn. I have only 2 pages because I haven't had time to do the November page. I will show you. but I haven't had time to do it. So this one was my September page, and this one was very popular on Instagram. I call it Crystals in a Shell, and I had no idea what to do with it when I first saw it. But then I decided to use my Winsor & Newton watercolors for the entire background. So it's a black watercolor background here. And then I, of course, used my, well, not of course, but I did use my Arteza new metallic watercolors for the crystals here and the shell. And then, of course, I used my Posca to erase the black lines in the crystals and here on the shell. And I used glitter gel pens also for details around the edges here and this pearl necklace, or both of them actually. And I used my acrylic inks for the background and glitter gel pens for the stars. And also, you can see here I have added stickles, both on the crystals and on the shell, and on these sort of, I don't know if they are gold coins or gold shells or whatever. And also up here. So this is a completely bling bling page here. But it was really popular on Instagram. A lot of people liked it. And my October contribution, I call it Halloween butterflies, because it was October and I wanted to do it some Halloween-like. And this was colored with the iridescent acrylic paint, again from A-Buyer, the Black Flash. So this is a black iridescent paint. I hope you can see the shine when I hold the page like this. Beautiful. And these acrylic paints are so easy to color with. You can see the pages, they don't wrinkle. And then I, of course, used the coloring pencils. I actually think it was my Polychromos pencils I used for the butterflies. I added a lot of details. You can also see here, especially with this one, with glitter gel pens. You can see how it shines. So this one, very cool. And again, Halloween colors with the orange and the purple and the black background. And this one is November's page. I have an idea as how I want to color it. But I haven't had time. So you will have to wait until my next completed pages video to see this one finished. Along with the December one, of course. So this was my Hanna Karlzon coloring for autumn. So this one is just an oil pastel drawing I made for my autumn art haul, to try the oil pastels on some different paper than in a coloring book. And these are the Mungoyo pastels I used, and then I used white acrylic paint on top with this waterfall here. And you can see down here that it is possible, when you have, blended it all, to do some details with the pastels. So you can actually make details with them. Unfortunately, I haven't, fixated this, so it's still quite smudgy. So I have just covered it with a paper. So I will have to use my new Wonder medium to try to seal it. Well, last up here is Ellie Marks with Winter Song, and also the coloring calendar pages I have done for the autumn here, September month, with the squirrel and the hedgehog here. And this was done with my Prismacolors, actually. Printed this on cardstock, so quite thick here, and it's a nice autumn one. You can still see the blue sky and a lot of golden colors here. And so the October page here is colored with my Eversar pencils and filled with lots of lovely pumpkins, and the ghosts I used a white acrylic marker for that. The only thing I really regret is that I used gray, Payne's gray actually, for the cat, so you can hardly see there is a cat there. But a nice Halloween-like page here. And November, colored with I think it was my Staedtler Design Journey pencils. And this is, well, all about Thanksgiving with the turkey and pumpkins and apples and pumpkin and apple pie. And then we still have some flowers, chrysanthemums here. And this must be perhaps some sort of, I don't know, fruit juice or something here. But a nice November page here for Thanksgiving. And then I actually colored, because then I got a bit tired of all of this autumn coloring. So I decided to use my, what did I use? I actually think this was my Prismacolors I used for the January page from this year, with the snowman here and the little bunnies here in the snow. So I actually forgot to use this in my Christmas and winter inspirational video. You might have seen it. It was up on my channel the other day. But quite a nice little drawing here. And this brings me also to Winter Song, because some of the things I did show in that video, I actually just colored here in November. Here, this one, a different color palette for Christmas and winter drawings. So this is actually more like a winter drawing here with the snow, and it's snowing with flowers. I used Prismacolors and tried, to color the flowers like poinsettias and Christmas roses, and well, just to have a sort of pale pastel-like color palette, but still with the red and also the purple to sort of break it here. And then I colored this one. This is much more wintry, with this wooden shoe here, with pine cones and holly berries and holly leaves here, and then it's snowing. So here I used Monguyo soft pastels for the background, like the other page, and my Prismacolors. And then a white Posca to add some little dots like snow, covered with snow or frost here, both with the pine cones and the branches here, and also with the holly berries and holly leaves. So this turned out quite nicely, I think. And then last but certainly not least, this ice skate Monguyo soft pastels in a very light blue color for the background. I hope you can see that there actually are some snowflakes here on this page. It's not that easy to see. And then we have the ice skate colored with blue Prismacolors, and then white gel pen for the snowflakes here. And I added some extra snow here on top of the ice skate here, and a little bit of silver down here. So that was it. That was all of my completed pages here for the autumn months. I hope that you enjoyed this completed pages video. Thank you so much for watching and spending some time with me here on my channel. I hope that you will like this video. Liking my videos really supports the channel, and it also tells me that you actually like the content I post here on my channel, and that I actually use quite a lot of time creating for the channel. Remember also that you can join my coloring community and become a channel member for less than $3 a month. If you choose to do so, you will have access to all of my beginner tutorials, my how to color series, and my color alongs. Upcoming videos: a Black Friday art haul will be done as soon as I have received the things I bought for Black Friday, and an upcoming video for my coloring community, a how to color with oil pastels and coloring books. So until I see you in the next video, take care of yourself, have a lovely day, happy coloring, bye.